Welcome to Gigi's Gluten-Free Cooking. I'm Gigi, the gluten-free grandma. Today we're going to learn how to make my traditional gravy. This gravy is often served at Thanksgiving and Christmas. It can also be served Sundays for the traditional Sunday dinner. The difference between serving chicken gravy and beef gravy is the broth. In order to adjust the color, you can use the kitchen bouquet. It's the browning agent. Use less for a lighter chicken gravy and more for a darker beef gravy. I think you're going to love this delicious, rich, traditional gravy. It was taught to me by my mother, who in turn learned it from her mother. This recipe is going to take into account all these allergies. The recipe will begin with a roux, a 1/4 cup of butter, a 1/4 cup of rice flour, 1/2 teaspoon of ground pepper. We'll also use 2 cups of broth. However, we're going to reserve 1/2 cup of broth. We're also going to use 1.5 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. This particular one is both gluten and soy-free. We're going to use approximately 1 teaspoon of the browning agent, kitchen bouquet, and the secret ingredient taught to me by my mother is 1.5 teaspoons to a tablespoon of tomato ketchup. It adds a really rich flavor to the end. Before we begin, making a good gravy requires your full attention for the duration of the process. Make sure that this is the only thing you have on the go when you start. If you use drippings or reduced marinade, separate the fat from the rest of the drippings before you begin. You can use the fat when making the roux. First, we make the roux. Melt butter over medium-low heat. We're using a 1/4 cup. Stir it constantly. Once the butter has melted and it's ready, gradually add the flour, the rice flour. Whisk constantly until you have a smooth paste. Don't forget to add the pepper. Now that you have your base, we're going to make the gravy. We're going to start by adding 1.5 cups of broth. In this instance, I'm going to use a chicken broth because I'm making a chicken gravy. You have to stir constantly so as not to allow any lumps to form. Once you have about 1.5 cups of liquid, you're going to bring it to the boil. So I've reserved approximately 1/2 cup to add later to adjust the thickness of the gravy. Now I'm going to turn the heat up to about a 6, stirring constantly over higher heat. And we're looking to bring this to the full boil. Once it's come to the full boil, whisk constantly, and you're going to boil it for 1 minute. We boil it for 1 minute in order to break down the rice flour. If you don't do that step, step, unfortunately, your gravy will be gritty. Note that I'm adding a little bit more liquid as it's boiling in order to keep it at the consistency that I'm looking for. I'm going to turn it down now to low heat. I'm just checking. Yes, there we go. We've hit 1 minute on the boil. At this point, our gravy is finished and we can begin adding the flavoring. So we're going to add a little bit of kitchen bouquet, as we said earlier. We're making a chicken gravy here, so I'm not going to add too much kitchen bouquet. Once we've whisked that in, we're going to add a bit of Worcestershire to give it some flavor. And then that secret ingredient that goes in right at the very end, about 1 to 2 teaspoons of ketchup. Whisk it thoroughly until you have the consistency and the color that you want. I'm going to add a little bit of the last half cup because my gravy's getting pretty thick. Don't forget to taste it so that you'll know it's perfect. Rich, delicious, traditional chicken gravy. Serve your traditional gravy hot with your meal. Leftovers can be stored in the refrigerator in a sealed container and reheated later. It can be stored for about 48 hours. It reheats very well 1 to 2 times before it starts to lose its body and become watery. Thank you for watching our video. This is Gigi's Gluten-Free Cooking, and I'm Gigi, the gluten-free grandma. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more videos about the hacks and hints of gluten-free cooking, please subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next video.